Hey there, my name is Przemek and today I got for you a review of this album, Infamis Tenebre, Widma. Fluttering Dragon, again, Fluttering Dragon is not slowing down and offers us yet another album, and like I said, this time it is Infamis Tenebre, Widma, Widma meets Spectres in Polish. And Infamis Tenebre is the second incarnation, or maybe a resurrection of the project Infamis, which at the turn of centuries released a few albums, also on his own label Beast of Prey. And I have to admit that it's quite an important label to me personally, because back in the days it also had its own webzine called Beast of Prey magazine, and it was the magazine where I took my first steps as an ambient journalist. I published my first reviews and interviews right there, and the label itself also released some really cool albums, including the ones from such projects like Paranoia Inducta, Dead Factory, Inner Vision Laboratory, Brand Commando, or even Nordvarg. And thanks to Infamis himself, which is Wojtek Zięba, I got to know a lot of cool music, also thanks to his distro, but also through exchanging some music, especially from the martial industrial genre. Like, for example, I think it was thanks to him that I heard for the first time Der Blutage, for example. However, I have to say that in all honesty, that this particular Infamis project musically has never appealed to me. It was a kind of pretentious dungeon synth, full of pathos, really sounding like stretched intros of some second-rate black metal albums, Casio orchestrations, this kind of stuff. I mean, sorry Wojtek, but I really feel it that way. Anyway, Infamis fell into a very long sleep somewhere in the early 2000s, if I'm not mistaken, and Wojtek focused more on his other project, Voices of the Cosmos, whereas Electric Uranus, together with Rafał Iwański from Hati, they make a cosmic dark ambient based on sounds actually captured somewhere in space. And scientific research is very important for this project, but also purely artistic wise, it is something worth attention. Besides, I wrote about Voices of the Cosmos several times in Santa Sangre, so if you want, you can look for my reviews on the website. Those are the written ones. And suddenly the year 2024 came, and completely out of the blue, Infamis resurrected and released an album under the wings of a dragon who has also resurrected. So the season for resurrections is in full swing. This time, however, Infamis changed its name to Infamis Tenebre, and basically Widma is described as the debut of the project. So we have this certain departure from the original Infamis, and yeah, let's take a look how the album looks, the graphic designs and the original visual concept. As always in case of Fluttering Dragon, it is quite impressive because we have this cardboard box, as you can see, and inside there is a sticker. There is also a poster which looks like this, and of course, very nicely designed digipack. Yeah, the credits and this kind of stuff, and the booklet, the lyrics inside. The lyrics are in Polish, but what can I say about it? Quite the typical atmospheres for the genre. I won't interpret the lyrics because I'm not good at it. Let me just translate the titles for you to see what kind of atmosphere this is. You know, Widma, which is the witch. Krzyk is scream. Battlehorn, there's an English title. Złoto I stal, it's gold and steel. Jad, Jad is venom. Darkness Clank, another English title. Rytuał ziemi, ritual of the earth. And shaman, which is shaman. Let's see what the label itself, Fluttering Dragon, writes about the album, Widma. Infamis Tenebre's debut album is an innovative musical experiment rooted in the stylistics of dungeon synth. The characteristic dark and epic passages crafted by Infamis break genre barriers, combining distant associations, melodic vocals, and poetry. Thus, a new term for the style of Infamis Tenebre has emerged, dungeon chant music, as the effect goes far beyond the traditional boundaries of the genre. Widma is an enchanting journey to archaic times where the perception of native shamans and witches extended beyond ordinary reality and returned to it along the way. It reached such spiritual heights that it takes one breath away. Mysterious keyboard passages combined with unconventional poetry embedded in catchy vocals aim to guide the listener to such places of the mind that one never ever dreamed of, one can discover in life. Widma is their compass, map, and path. And yes, to be honest, it is still quite typical, regular dungeon synth, you know, keyboard melodies and quasi orchestrations with medieval/fantasy edge. Morty's influences are definitely noticeable here, and the spirit of 90s hovers over this album in general. Although it is up to our times in terms of production and arrangements. It's a few levels higher than the old Infamis, but it's like I said, it's still dungeon synth, which, as you know, I'm rather ambivalent about. Not ambivalent. I just don't like it. And if it were only instrumental music, I think I'd get bored with this album quite quickly, and I wouldn't rate it positively. But there is a certain game changer here that makes me kind of like or appreciate this album, at least to some extent. And yes, you're right, this term dungeon chant is not without reason, because Piotr Huzar's vocals are very important here. It's maybe one of the key or crucial elements on Widma. You know, imagine how, thinking in cliches, the vocals on a typical dungeon synth record could sound if it would be more vocal oriented music, you know, like I'm a great warrior, I'm going to my castle, I'm fighting with the monsters, and so on, you know, gruff, low vocals, so serious that it becomes ridiculous. And here's a surprise, Piotr sings in completely different style, you know, it's melodic, it's emotional, he has a really cool voice, it's a great added value in this music, you know. He actually sounds like a rock or maybe even a heavy metal vocalist. He screams, moans, sings nicely, sometimes even in a romantic way, whizzes. He's a driving force of these songs, and I think only instrumental. If it would be only instrumental, it would be serious. This music would be serious to the point of when it becomes, kind of over the top. I think, but the vocals make those compositions simply cool and catchy pieces, and. There are some moments when this vocal is absent, there are, I think, two or three, two, I think, two purely instrumental tracks, and when I listen to those instrumental tracks, I start to remember why I don't like Dungeon Synth. Like I said, sound-wise, it's decent, but typical Dungeon Synth melodies bore me and irritate me with their, seriousness and naivety. But when the moment later this singing appears again, the smile returns to my face, and I'm starting to feel like to think that the guys had a lot of fun recording the album, and it's like that corn cob up Dungeon Synth as kind of disappears somewhere, and it becomes nice, and you don't feel pain while listening to it. Sometimes I have the impression that there are a few moments that some phrases that Piotr sings that they are a bit covered too much by the instrumental layer, and they could be pushed more to the forefront, because sometimes I couldn't understand everything what he sings, and I had to check in the booklet the lyrics, but it's just a small objection about the vocals, or maybe it's just my ears are not so so functional as they used to be before, and generally it's not an album that I'll be probably coming back to or getting back to very often, because it's not my cup of tea, Dungeon Synth, but I think it stands out in the Dungeon Synth scene, at least this purely Dungeon Synth scene, not this meta one that combines Dungeon Synth with other genres. And generally, if Dungeon Synth were to go in this direction, that I'm quite okay with it. Less pomposity, more songfulness, and maybe I live to see some at least decent albums in this genre. Yeah, okay, that was the review of Infamis Tenebre Widma. If you liked the review and in general the stuff I do on this channel, subscribe to this channel, click like if you like this video. Thanks for watching, and see you soon.